board meeting. I would like to call the meeting to order. Tonight, we're using the closed captioning feature. The captioning will also be visible on the YouTube live stream. For those speaking during the meeting, please speak clearly. I probably also slowly, so the closed captions are as accurate as possible. Would everyone in the boardroom please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? Stand if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Juro fidelidad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. Thank you. I'm going to ask for a moment of silence for all our APS grads and our community members who have given their lives in service to our country. All right, may I have a roll call, please? Here. I don't think she could hear you. Danielle Gonzalez?
I can't hear, but I am here.
Barbara Peterson.
Here.
Crystal Tapia Romero.
Here.
Josefina Dominguez.
Here.
Courtney Jackson.
Here.
Yolanda Montoya Cordova.
Here. And Board Member Gonzalez, were you able to hear us now after that? Yes, okay, great. Thank you. Meeting format. The community members may attend the APS Board of Education meetings in person at the Alice and Bruce King Educational Complex here at 6400 Uptown Boulevard Northeast, or watch us on live stream on the APS Board of Education YouTube channel. Our first item is adoption of the April 19th, 2023 Board of Education meeting agenda and approval of the April 5th, 2023 Board of Education meeting minutes and the March 29, 2023 Special Board of Education meeting minutes. Go ahead, board member.
Yeah, I would like to move to amend the April 19th, 2023 Board of Education meeting agenda to move item 9, consideration for approval to adjourn to executive session, to right after public forum. And then in addition, I would like to move for approval of the April 5th, 2023 Board of Education meeting minutes and the March 29th, 2023 Special Board of Education meeting minutes.
I'll second.
May I have a roll call,
Is
please?
there any discussion?
Peggy Mueller Aragon.
Can I
Let's discussion. Okay, I'm sorry.
can I just ask why? Because we have various staff and community members that are here for other items on the agenda, and putting it first makes people wait who may not be able to wait.
We're going to be moving into executive session, and we don't anticipate it's going to be a really long executive session because it's just simply a quick review and an overview of next steps. So the attorney that we have that's going to be working with us is coming in from Santa Fe. And rather than having him wait for the entirety of the meeting, which could cost us also some additional funds, we thought we'd put it up at the front so that we could do it quickly.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense there.
I know, once we said money, I know that was an important part of it. So may I have a roll call, please?
Peggy Mueller Aragon.
Yes.
Danielle Gonzalez.
Yes.
Barbara Peterson.
Yes.
Crystal Tapia Romero.
Yes.
Josefina Dominguez.
Yes.
Courtney Jackson.
Yes.
Yolanda Montoya Cordova.
Yes. Okay. So our next item is public forum, and Secretary Jackson is going to lead us instructions, and we'll start with public forum.
Okay. So welcome to our public forum guests. When you signed up to speak, you were asked to review the rules and expectations which our presiding officer will enforce. The New Mexico Open Meetings Act requires that our agendas specify in advance the items that will be discussed and voted on during the meeting. Therefore, public forum is not a dialogue among speakers and board members, but rather a chance to hear from our community. We will call participants to speak in the order in which they signed up, whether in person or virtual. Those here with us tonight will be asked to come to the microphone in the center aisle at the back of the room when their name is called. Online guests will stay in a virtual waiting room until it is their turn to speak. When it is your time, you will be escorted into the main meeting space. Please turn on your audio and video. Once your speaking time is up, you will be ushered back into the waiting room. When you are finished speaking, you may choose to leave the meeting and watch it on live stream. We have set aside 45 minutes for public forum. If there are fewer than 22 speakers, so you will each have 2 minutes to address the board. Please be concise and try not to repeat what others have said. Tonight, there are 4 speakers. Once your time is up, you will be directed to complete your sentences quickly so that others can speak. You may not yield your unused time to another speaker. If we don't get to all the speakers or you feel you were unable to convey your message, you may email boarded@aps.edu. In addition, for those of you who are here tonight, a representative from our service center, right back there, is here to assist you. So, Mr. Gonzalez, will you please introduce our speakers?
Thank you, Board Member Jackson. We did have one last entry, so there'll be 5 public forum signups tonight. The first one is Lynn Anton. Lynn, you'll have 2 minutes once you begin speaking. Thank you.
Board President Montoya Cordova and members of the board, I'm here to speak about a few concerns. In reviewing the APS student outcome goals and guardrails, I found some things that I take issue with. To name a few, you have 2 goals that refer to Yazzie Martinez decision, and this does not take into account all students in APS. Are educators to focus on only a certain students and not others? Because that's the way it seems to be worded. And it's implied. As to the guardrails, why are they all stated in the negative? Each guardrail starts with the superintendent will not. Did anyone suggest writing this in the positive, such as the superintendent will? We're educators, and that's really not how we are write things. So I have an issue with that. Speaking of guardrails, and I see that they have them posted in here. The first one states the superintendent will not allow the district to operate with inequitable distribution of school and or community-based wraparound and support systems. So that's a very lofty goal. However, how is this feasible? For an example, will every school have a school-based health center? If not, how is it determined which school is deemed worthy of a school-based health center? And how is it even possible with shortages in health and mental health services and those professionals in our city and in our state? So consider those things as well. Next year, Roosevelt Middle School is going to start moving on to something else at 7:30, while other middle schools are starting at 9:15. For one thing, that option wasn't even discussed at your last meeting, the 9:15 option. So I think that took a lot of staff members and families by surprise. So now Roosevelt is not getting the same opportunity or advantage as other middle school students. And this is due to a bus issue. Can this be fixed?
Ms. Anton, I'm sorry, that's 2 minutes. Can you wrap up?
Okay. I just wanted, my last thing was about La Luz Elementary School being closed. I was at Acoma Elementary School when it closed in May of 2016, and I can speak from experience. Don't say you have a year to close up and then change it to, oops, sorry, you won't be back next year. Be transparent with your students, family, and staff members. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Our next speaker is Beth Mann, and she will be on Zoom. Beth, are you there?
I am.
2 minutes once you begin speaking.
Good evening, President Montoya Cordova, board members, and Superintendent Elder. My name is Beth Mann, and I am the Kirtland Air Force Base School Liaison Program Manager. April is the month of the military child, and I would like to read to you Governor Lujan Grisham's proclamation stating that April is New Mexico's month of the military child. Whereas thousands of brave military members across New Mexico have demonstrated their courage and commitment to freedom by serving in the armed forces of the United States, both on active duty and in the National Guard and Reserves, and whereas the state of New Mexico is honored to work with our military installations, communities, and school districts to provide social emotional and academic support to children of service members as they transition between schools to address their distinct needs. And whereas children and youth of our service members are major contributors to the fabric of the strength for their parents serving in the armed forces. And whereas children and youth of our service members continue to make significant contributions to family, schools, communities, our state, and the nation, despite prolonged and repeat absences of one or both parents. And whereas these students are a source of pride and honor to us all, and it is only fitting that we take the time to recognize their contributions, celebrate their spirit, and let our men and women in uniform know that while they are taking care of us, we are taking care of children. I, Mr. Grisham, Governor of the State of New Mexico, do hereby proclaim April 23rd as New Mexico Month of the Military Child throughout the state of New Mexico. Additionally, Friday, April 21st is New Mexico's Purple Up Day, a day which celebrates all our military-connected children. The color purple symbolizes all branches of the military, a combination of blue for Air Force, Navy, and Coast Guard, green for Army, red for the Marines, and now dark blue for the Space Force. Thank you for those that are wearing purple tonight in support of our military-connected students. I encourage everyone to wear purple this Friday for Purple Up Day to support all of our military-connected children who serve our country along with their parents. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is in the room, Carissa Gonzalez. You have 2 minutes once you begin speaking.
Dear board members, for letting me speak again. My name is Carissa Yazi Gonzalez. I'm one of the staff members out of West Mesa High School. So I'm, as a family liaison, I'm here, I'm speaking up, not just behalf of families, but mainly our students, because I continuously work with them and always hear what they have to say about our school and everything. So, but I just came back on behalf of our school to continue to hold accountability, the way I hold myself accountable to my job, the families and the students that I work for. That's why I'm here. And I'm just reminding you guys, we need to remind ourselves to be accountable on one of the issues that we're fighting at West Mesa High School, which is the gun on campuses. That's the whole issue, right? In the past couple of months, we see some slow progression. Yes, yay, but we want to see your presence. And I know I attended many meetings in our school district, and a lot of these leaders that put on these meetings, like we invite the school board, we invite these leadership, but they don't show up. Okay. And a lot of that feedback that we get from our students is like, I told you, they don't care, because our youth, they want to see our leaders in the front and reminding them, hey, we're here, we hear you. And reading some of these goals, it's like, we got to get on those goals up there, having a voice, including our parents and our students, and your presence will lead you to that goal, right? So we would love to see you. We have many rallies and all these meetings that are coming up. When you see that in your email, please, even 5 minutes of your time would be great, just to instill that faith and that morale back in our school and amongst our students. So that's why I'm here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker is Teresa Ilgen. Was it Ilgen or Ilgen? Ilgen. Okay, I'm sorry. I will get that to him. You have 2 minutes once you begin speaking. Thanks.
Big crowd here tonight. My name is Teresa Ilgen. I am a teacher at West Mesa High School, and I'm just going to review what Action Now has been working on and then kind of give my thoughts on a few things. So Action Now is a group that's organized at West Mesa. We talk about eliminating guns and weapons on West Mesa's campus. We are in the process of maybe organizing a rally, March Against Guns on school campus, which I'm going to touch on in a little bit. We're looking at making our student handbook more friendly so students know what expectations are held of them at our school and what potential consequences there may be that are going to align with the new APS handbook. That's coming up. We did a student survey, which I need to email to you all, and I will. There were a total of 386 responses. We closed that yesterday, which is 23% of the student body, 1,642 students. that took that survey, and there's a lot of very insightful comments on that. We made a motion to distribute a staff survey immediately, and I'll be sending emails out tomorrow with that. And then we're also doing a call for student art, because the whole reason that we do this is for students, right? And that's constantly what the message is, like, we're doing this for students. So, you know, I was hoping to come here with flyers to invite you all personally to this rally that we were organizing on May 4th. Due to scheduling conflicts and I think it's fear. I really do think it's fear. I think that there's things that have happened at West Mesa, like there continues to be guns that are brought to campus. There was a student that was shot just last year, and this is still an issue. And the fact that there's so much fear around addressing this issue that constantly gets tagged as being, well, it's too political, right? Guns is just a political issue. So if you're organizing a rally around this, it really needs to be trudged around delicately. I understand that, right? But I think the majority of the people that are working as our staff on this issue have like really pure intention of making sure that school is safe for students, safe for staff, safe for community members, and really engages the community's voice in coming up with a solution to this issue. I'm constantly hearing, well, what's the end goal? What's the end goal? Well, the end goal is no guns on campus, right? And
Teresa, you've got over 2 minutes. I need you to wrap it up with one very quick sentence.
And I understand that that's a huge issue, but if we continue to kind of live in this fear of being called out for things that have happened and things that have gone wrong, and not really working together to get the community's voice involved and student voice involved in solving this issue, it's continue to happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is Carrie Jordan. Carrie, you'll have 2 minutes once you begin speaking.
Good evening. I'm speaking today regarding the changes to bell times for APS schools that were announced yesterday in accordance with current medical and educational guidelines. I support the later science-backed start times for adolescents. So obviously it upset me to see that both my children's East Mountain schools, A. Montoya Elementary and Roosevelt Middle School, will actually start a half an hour earlier than their current start times. Even more alarming was to discover that Roosevelt Middle School is the sole middle facility which will deviate from the recommended best practices for developing brains and instead have their bell a full 1 hour and 45 minutes earlier than any other middle school in the district. It appears the selective timing issue in our area is being based on prioritizing Manzano High School students' later start time at the expense of the, quote, sleep patterns and brain development of our Roosevelt Middle School students. Middle school students focus deeply on the American government, but how can we expect our children to become good citizens, engaged in the future of democracy, when our APS leadership violates open meetings and makes arbitrary decisions against science for some of us without transparency? Waiting until the final months of the school year to address an issue this important to the entire family scheduling is unacceptable when alternative enrollment applications have been finite since February. Additionally, making the schools that are exception to the later start time at an East Mountain location sets up an increased likelihood of more 2-hour snow delays, which are largely based on whether the county has plowed the farthest stops on our rural route. A later start sets up greater chances for success on so many levels. The parents and community of Roosevelt Middle School respectfully request a meeting this month with our APS board member, Ms. Dominguez, an APS task force representative, a bus company representative specifically familiar with East Mountain routes, students and families from all of our schools, Roosevelt, A. Montoya, San Antonio, Manzano, so that they can all attend and that our questions and concerns can be addressed and we can figure out a solution together.
Ms. Jordan, I'm sorry you've gone over your 2 minutes. I need you to wrap it up in one very quick, small sentence.
Even more to the point, any proposed changes to all school bell schedules should be tabled until next school year. An entire year of community meetings, open forums, and inclusive discussions are needed in order to implement changes that will deeply affect our children and our community's daily lives.
Thank you. Thank you. And board members, that concludes public forum.
Thank you. Thank you very much to all the speakers that came tonight. I do want to just make a couple of statements on there for for Miss Anton, if you'd like to get some more information on SOFG, let's set up some time. You and I can talk about that, and I can give you some ideas of why it's worded the way that it's worded, and we can talk about that for sure. I want to say thanks to Miss Mann for the military connected families shout out. That is great because we do truly appreciate our children that are military connected. And yes, there's ongoing safety concerns, and there was a demonstration out there tonight. The district continues to address safety. And in terms of calendars, yes, some start times and some issues. We know that it's been a really difficult time for everyone. So we can probably, there's a call out for a discussion with board members, but I just want to just have everybody understand that this is really difficult because the changes came down from Santa Fe at a very late time to us as well, because everything just got signed into law, if you will, around the changes and the things that we had to do. So we're doing the best that we can. But we, as board members, are definitely interested in meeting with our constituents. And West Mesa, when there's things that are going on, the best way to get information to us is through board.ed@aps.edu. Because if there's our events or things that are going on, if you send it out to there, they let us know and we can work from that. But I haven't seen anything on my calendar, but I would be interested in knowing when those events are. All right, so we'll be moving right along. So what we're going to do now, because you guys are shifting me out here. So we're going to, my next item is, I have to go to my consideration for approval to adjourn to executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, NMSA 1978, Section 1015(1) H2 for the purpose of discussing a limited personnel matter regarding the superintendent's contract. Do I have a motion on this?
I move to adjourn to executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1 H2 for the purpose of discussing a limited personnel matter regarding the superintendent's contract.
I'll second. This is Barbara.
Mrs. King, may I have a roll call, please?
Peggy Mueller Aragon,
No.
Danielle Gonzalez,
Yes.
Barbara Peterson,
Yes.
Crystal Tapia Romero,
Yes.
Josefina Dominguez,
Yes.
Courtney Jackson,
Yes.
Yolanda Montoya Cordova.
Yes, and so now we're going to ask all of the individuals that are not associated with the executive session to please leave the room. And we will